Hi, I really hope you can hear me because this is the quietest spot in and around my house that I can find, and of course it is cicada season and I'm probably gonna melt because it's July and it's past 9 a.m. But that's okay. If you don't know me, hi, I'm Amber. I am an author and a freelance editor. I am squatting down right now because I can't find a chair. Should probably find a chair. Let me go find a chair. Hold on, 1 second. Perfect, a chair has been acquired. There's something flying overhead that's not a bird. I'm already sweating. Wow, you can see that. That's crazy. Okay, so we're gonna go as fast as possible to give you guys updates. Firstly, why am I outside? Our AC had, not that it had gone out, we've been battling mold for about 2 years. And we finally said, we're done, we're not doing this anymore. And so we just pulled the units out, called a couple places, and they quoted us, literally the first place was like $13,000. And for reference, this is a tiny house, and so that is like a quarter of what I paid for the entirety of the house. So we were not going to pay that to install 2 deckless mini split units. So needless to say, we put them out ourselves, realized that the builders screwed up the system so bad that my husband cannot do it on his own. An HVAC technician needs to do it. Second place we called said we can't even install it in your bedroom because it's not on an exterior wall, it's on the wall between the bedroom and living room, which doesn't make sense because everybody who has a tiny house that I know of has it on the wall between the bedroom and living room. This doesn't need an exterior wall. Turns out the reason they wanted it is so they wouldn't have to go underneath the house. And I'm like, great, can't have not a unit in there. So we now have a window unit in the living room and a portable AC in the bedroom, which will need to be converted to a window unit here soon. I think we're just going to pause on getting the deckless system up and running because it's just not worth the hassle, not in the middle of summer in Texas. So right now our house is back to the temperature it was at just with the window unit and the portable AC. So we will be able to live until like October and November when it actually gets cold enough that we could have turned them off. Now, we don't really ever turn the heater on. I think we've turned the heater on when it gets below freezing, which is like a week out of the entire year. So not really necessary. But that is also why, in terms of writing updates, I've done nothing. I started a new project just for fun, and that one is really fun. It's like an urban fantasy, and I'm kind of going between that one and the college age mystery. All in all, I think I've written 4,000 words this month. I had a really busy 2 weeks of July with editorial clients, and when that was finally over, the AC happened, and so we had about 5 days where the house was consistently around 90 degrees. So I was not in my house, or if I was contained to the bedroom where we had gotten it down to about 82 to 85 degrees. So, you know, livable, but I was not working. I took an entire week of July off while we were doing this, and then realized it was not going to be a week project like we had hoped it would be, and so we had an alternative solution, temporary solution, and that's Lola. And so I took a time off, didn't do anything, and now I'm back in editorial clients. Got a copy edit this week. I've got a couple beta reads lined up, but basically we are kind of going back to normal, but I do intend on focusing on both of these projects. Again, poetry is kind of like here and there. I'm not really focusing on it now because I do want to branch out into fiction and actually find a readership, because the poetry is so niche, as I've mentioned a million times on here. It's very hard to find readers for it. I adjusted the camera. It felt like I was way too far away, but now I feel like I'm too dark. But I can't go in the sun or I will melt completely. So the stories are coming along really well. I'm really happy with them. I think that The Woman I Hold Dear is going to be my only 2025 release, simply so that I can focus on the fiction projects, because I don't necessarily want to lock myself into a genre, because I've always been a multi-genre writer. It was usually a mix of contemporary and fantasy pieces, but now I think urban fantasy is probably where I really want to stay. And then mysteries. I love mysteries, so that's definitely it. But more cozy mysteries. I'm not really looking for like a high stakes sort of mystery. And I mentioned that, and here are the cicadas again. A lot of people will say that, oh, you can have murder mysteries and cozy mysteries, they can blend. Just not a fan of the murder ones. I'm more Nancy Drew-esque, and even certain of the Nancy Drews are like involve murder, and just not my cup of tea. Not to write anyway. And now I'm tired because it's hot. It has been a very, very long month. It is July 30th when I'm filming this. It'll probably be July 30th when I get this up, because I really don't plan to edit anything. I'm just gonna put them together and throw it up on YouTube just so that I don't have one upload this month. I feel like we had really good momentum in like the springtime, and once again it just kind of died off. I wanted to make another video about my update since quitting my 9 to 5, but honestly it's been so long now that I don't know, I feel like what would be September? I might as well just wait till September and do a full 6-month update, because I think I planned on doing a 3-month update, which would have been June, and now we're about to be in August, so that's kind of a moot point. There are so many bees flying around me and I love it. We have seen now dragonflies, we've had so many butterflies, so we have created a little pollinator paradise and it is amazing. A garden update. Green beans are doing well in the front. Green beans in the back have died. They had their season. Cantaloupe's great. Potatoes are good. I'm trying to think. The peppers. I don't know what to do with peppers. They keep dying. I think my banana peppers are finally taking off, because instead of just growing up, they're growing out. So I actually build a bush. But it took so long. Like, we should have been harvesting peppers at this point. And at this point, we've had one. And we bought 12 plants. So habaneros died immediately. One jalapeno has survived out of the 4 that we bought, and one banana pepper plant has survived, and that's the only pepper plant at all that has produced. So I'm kind of just figuring out this new slower way of life, which is something I did after my surgery back in 2018, when I realized I could not go at the speed that I was accustomed to going. And it's kind of just this acceptance that the whole rat race thing that they fed us in junior high and high school is not the only choice you can make in life. And I'm kind of enjoying that. I'm enjoying the gardening. I definitely need to read more, except I've been playing Stardew Valley non-stop, so that's not helping, but also it is, because it's very cozy and relaxing. And yeah, so I'm just having a good time, just kind of relaxing and just living life. I wish I had more solid updates on my personal writing, and that's just sweat rolling down my calf. Like, what? It should not be this hot. Oh my gosh. It's because it's humid. That's what it is. Because I'm in the part of Texas where, yeah, we have humidity, but we're not in Houston or Austin. Like, we are not that close to the ocean that should be this humid without rain. I think that's what's killing me. Because yesterday the humidity was at like 37%, and that was amazing. It was so nice. But today, apparently, because I decided to film, it's not going to be that. That's okay. It's alright. That's good. We're chugging along. The writing's doing good. I'm not as far as I would like to be. I know I talked about this, hitting that first draft for the mystery at the end of this month. Not going to happen by tomorrow. I don't think I could write 50,000 words in 36 hours. Be a cool video idea, but that's definitely not going to happen right now with all the projects I have. So, freelancing is going great. I am exactly where I want to be, and all that I can do is go up from here, which is exactly the direction that we're going. So at this rate, I will beat through that goal I had for myself in terms of freelance editing income for 2025. And I think I just need to sit down and do like a time management assessment. I might do that on camera, and just kind of see, like, carve out specific time, 5 days a week, to just write or just to brainstorm, just to dedicate that time like I used to back when I was in college, high school, that kind of thing, where I would give like an hour minimum a day to my projects. And that's honestly all it takes when you're writing. You really don't need to, like, just, there's this word I'm thinking of and I can't think of how to pronounce it right now. S-L-O-U-G-H. I'm gonna say it wrong, so I'm not even gonna try. Sloth through. Anyway, that's a word. See, I'm a writer, not a speaker. I know words, I can't pronounce them. Anyway, I just need to do dedicated short bursts of time, and that will get me to where I want to be, because I am a fast writer. I can write 1,000 words in an hour, no problem. So if I'm doing that, that means I should be able to have a draft done once every 2 to 3 months, which would ensure that I have enough of a backlist of manuscripts that when I publish, I can do some rapid releases for the mystery and then slowly integrate the urban fantasy. It'll all be good. So I will probably sit down and just discuss the trajectories that I can take for the writing. I think that would be a better video to put up, and it would also be something that would be productive for me as well. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for sticking around. This is the longest I've gone without an upload since I started my AuthorTube. Literally 2 years ago, actually. It was July of 2023. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you guys are having a cooler summer than I am, literally and figuratively. Go for it. Have a great time. And I will catch you guys as soon as I can in the next video. Bye.